A steady beeping sound aroused me. At first, I think it's an alarm clock, but no, it's too calm and controlled. My eyelids flutter and I try to peel them apart. It feels like they've been glued shut. When they finally open, it's all a blur. I blink several times until my surroundings become clearer. I'm lying in a hospital bed, tucked beneath covers and hooked up to various machines. A small plastic device is clipped to my pointer finger. An IV needle is stuck into my hand and taped, holding it in place. A clear tube is positioned into my nose, emitting a steady stream of air. Its ceiling is made up of sterile white tiles. I turn my head to the right and see an empty chair and 2 closed doors. In front of my bed, a television hangs on the wall playing some game show. Either it's muted or I can't hear it at all. Beneath the TV is a stand adorned with vases of colorful flowers and propped open greeting cards. My head throbs like its contents of it have been scraped out, shaken up, and dumped back into my skull. A slew of questions rattle around my brain. Why am I in a hospital? What happened? How did I get here? Where is here? The sound of pen scratching at paper pulls my attention. It's deafening. A slow turn to my head to the left, where the noise is coming from, and I find a woman sitting in a chair. Her head is craned forward, focused on the notebook she's writing in. Her dark hair is full of tight curls. Streaks of caramel highlights. Her makeup is minimal, except for extra long lashes and red painted lips. As though she knows those are her most bold features. She's dressed in a pair of black leggings, combat boots, and oversized sweatshirt. She's pretty, but I don't know who she is. I try to speak, but only a gasp comes out. Her head flicks up, and her honey brown eyes go wild. Oh, Jesus, you're up. She snaps their notebook closed and jumps to her feet. Nurse! I try to speak again, but I can't. I feel like I swallowed sand. All this comes out as a croaky gasp. But she realizes I can't talk. She picks up a Dixie cup from the stand beside me and brings it to my lips. Here, have some water, she says, tipping the cup. I swallow a couple gulps and exhale deeply, trying to catch my breath. A fruity floral scent wafts off at her. It's lovely and familiar, but I'm not sure why. She yells for a nurse again. I struggle to talk. Why am I in the hospital? The words come out slowly, quiet, and raspy. I'm not even sure I actually said them out loud. Her eyes bulge. You don't remember what happened? My head moves side to side, only an inch or so in each direction. Oh, Peyton. She reaches for my hand and holds it. You were hit by a car. Peyton? I ask. She leans in closer and places her hand against my forehead like she's checking for a temperature. I can't feel it, though. There's something sort of gauze wrapped around my head. Yeah, Peyton. That's your name? I ask. A bewildered look takes over her face. No, that's your name. I'm Maya. Maya. Nurse, she yells in a panic and scrambles to the door. Just as she's making her quick exit, a man carrying 2 Starbucks coffee cups pushes the door open. They collide, spilling coffee onto themselves and the floor. Maya, the man groans, pulling the crushed coffee cups from his chest. He's tall, much taller than she is, and broad shoulders. His eyes are blue, electric almost. Despite the brightness, he appears tired. His dark hair is cut short to the sides and a little more length on the top. He sports a 5 o'clock shadow, and I'm not sure if it's intentional or he just hasn't had time to shave. She's awake, Maya says, pointing in my direction. He looks at me, and his sharp jaw drops in surprise, letting out a sigh of relief, revealing a set of perfectly white teeth. Peyton, he says, his voice a mix of excitement and apprehension. She doesn't know who she is. Maya whispers. I'm only 10 feet away, so I hear it clear as day. What? She knows who she is, right, Peyton? His gaze never faltered as he crossed the room a few large steps, placing a half-full coffee on the table beside my bed. I shake my head. Do you know who I am? Yes. I shake my head again. Maybe if I shake it enough, I'll rattle my memories loose. How can I not know who I am? Tears build up. They're hot and heavy and ready to spill out at any second. Nurse, we have a problem, Maya yells. Tall woman dressed in green scrubs appears in the door. Dark circles cling to the bottom of her eyes. She wipes her forehead with the back of her hand and exhales. I'm not bringing you any more jello, Maya. This isn't about me, Maya tucks her chin in. But I would like some more. She points to me. My friend is awake, but you've replaced her brain with a potato, because she doesn't know who she is. I had brain surgery. I reach for my head and try and sit up, but my whole body is stiff and tender, like trying to bend the wooden board in half. I'll get the doctor. The nurse bolts from the room. The guy in the blue eyes takes a seat and reaches for my hand. No, ignore her. You didn't have brain surgery, he said. Why don't I know who I am? My bottom lip quivered and those fat tears spill out. He holds my hand, and I'm not sure he should be holding my hand because I don't know who he is. But it's warm and comforting, so I don't pull away. I don't know, he says with a sympathetic look. At least I think it's sympathetic. Who are you? I ask. I'm your friend Robbie. Oh, he's my friend. And that's your best friend Maya. I can't believe you could ever forget about me. She folds her arms in front of her chest. Brain injury or not, I'm kind of hurt. I can't help but laugh. I'm not sure if she's trying to be funny, but she is. At least you still have your sense of humor, she cracks in a faint smile. But by that, I mean, you find my jokes amusing. Maya walks away around the front of the bed and retakes her seat opposite of Robbie. So you're my friends, I ask. Yes, Robbie says, trying to smile. But the corner of his lips quiver instead, like he feels sorry for me. No, Maya said. I'm your best friend. Robbie is your friend. I am Robbie's best friend too. But he's my friend. Get it? No, I say. My eyes swing like a pendulum between them. Stop, you're confusing her even more, Robbie chides Maya. And for the record, Peyton is my best friend. You're my friend. She squints. Since when? Since you had me hackle you at your comedy set, and I ended up on the Bar Sports website. She let out a huff. That was almost a year ago, and now I was supposed to know someone was recording it, and that it'd go insanely viral. No phone is allowed in the comedy club. Maya leans back in her chair and crosses one leg over the other. It was pretty great they called me shockingly funny, though, right? Even though it was a dig at the skyrocketed of my career, she smirked. I still get recognized for it, he squints. Sorry, she says. You're a stand-up comedian, I ask. Robbie laughs. She's funnier than you are, Maya. I know that's not a question. She gives me a teasing look. There's a knock at the door. An older man in graying hair pops his partially balding head in. He wears a guise of determination and a white doctor's coat. A stethoscope hangs freely from his neck. Welcome back, Peyton. I'm Dr. Hesh. Hi, Dr. Hesh, I say. I hear you're having some difficulty with your memory. He strolls into the room carrying a file folder. Yeah, I don't remember anything, I think. Thoughts roll through my brain and I'm trying to conjure up memories, but there's not memories that come to the forefront of my mind. Just names of things that I know, or at least I think I know, like states, Wisconsin, Illinois, New York. I think of animals, dog, cat, cow. I glance around the room, noticing things I see. Chair, bed, flowers, TV, hot guy, funny girl, doctor. Anything? What's your name? He studies my face. Peyton. She doesn't actually remember that. I told her her name. Maya says, what about your last name? Robbie gives me a pleading look. Like he's saying, please, Peyton. You remember. Just say it. I glance at Maya. Her mouth sits partially open as though she was about to tell me the correct answer, but doesn't. I don't know. I say to Dr. Hesh. That's all right, he says. Your name is Peyton Sanders. He's trying to be encouraging, but he's not. There's nothing positive about not knowing your own name. What about your friends? Can you tell me their names? Doctor asked. Robbie and Maya. We told her those two, Maya said. What's my last name? I examined her face, hoping for an answer to her question would reveal itself. A beauty mark sits half-inch above her full lips, and a little off the right. She has high cheekbones, but the rest of her features are soft. Her complexion is warm, beige, and golden undertones. I stare into her large brown eyes flaked with gold, but an answer doesn't come to me. I don't know, I say, shaking my head. She sighs and rubs my shoulders with her manicured hands. That's okay, it's James, by the way, Maya James, I repeated, trying to commit it to memory. Robbie clears his throat. And I'm Robbie Parker. He pats the top of my hand. Robbie Parker, I say. Dr. Hedge pulls his clipboard from the end of the bed and reads it before opening the file folder and carried in, and scribbles some notes down. How long have I been here? You were brought in 4 days ago, Dr. Hedge, briefly watching me before returning to his attention to the paperwork. I've been in a coma for 4 days? Yeah, Robbie says. Do you remember the accident at all? I try to think back before I woke up in the hospital bed, but it's all blank like a fresh chalkboard. There's nothing. It's just endless dark tunnel with no light at the end. but I know words and names of things, like the stethoscope around the doctor's neck. I know what a car is, and what an accident is, and what a hospital is, and what a friend is, but I have no memory attached to anything I know. I swallow hard. I feel like a brand new computer being powered on for the first time. The knowledge is there, but nothing is context. I don't remember it. Do you remember anything earlier that day? Robbie asks. I shake my head. Maya leans forward in her chair. Do you remember the ending of The Sixth Sense? I squint. No, what is that? Only one of the greatest films of our generation. She lifts her chin. You're so lucky. Maya, Robbie chides. What? What I wouldn't give to be able to watch the movie for the first time again. Maya cracks a grin. Had you given up all your memories? Maybe, she shrugs. It's a really good movie. I think she's being insensitive to my situation, but now I really want to watch it. Dr. Hesh clears his throat, making Robbie and Maya drop their bickering immediately. We give the doctor our full attention. Can you tell me what the capital of Illinois is? He asks. Maya shakes her head. Springfield, I say. She knows that, but doesn't remember my name. Maya rolls her eyes, while Robbie shushes her. Can you tell me how many planets there are? 9, if you count Pluto, I say. But I don't think they count it anymore, so 8. The doctor nods. Good. Looks down at his chart again, pausing for a moment before lifting his head. When you were brought in, we ran an MRI scan on your internal injuries. We found no broken bones, internal bleeding, or torn ligaments, etc. So that's good news. We also performed a CT scan and found small structural lesions on the prefrontal cortex. Oh great, lucky only your brain took the brunt of the accident. Maya, words dripped with sarcasm. The doctor gave her a disappointing look. Now, lesions do heal on their own, he says, but it takes time. The location of the lesion has affected your memory, resulting in a retrograde amnesia. Maya squints. What does that all mean? It means Peyton has lost her memory prior to the accident, but it's hard to tell how far the memory loss goes back. It could be days, months, even decades. Since you're also unable to remember personal information, leads me to believe that dissociative amnesia, which is very rare but also occurring. How long have you all been friends? Maya speaks first. Since freshman year of college, fall of 2009. Yeah, around the same time, Robbie says. I nod, but I really don't know whether it's correct. I glance over at Maya, wondering how she and I met in college. Did we have the same class? Were we roommates? Maybe we worked together on campus. I don't know what campus that is, though I close my eyes tight, hoping I'll be able to find a memory in the dark behind my lids, floating somewhere in my brain, but they're not there. When I open them, I look at Robbie. He said we met around the same time too, probably college as well. It must have been because it seemed Maya, Robbie, and I are equally close. Is there anything you can remember since 2010, Peyton? Move my mouth side to side and shake my head. Nothing before then, he asks. I don't remember anything. The doctor lets out the tiniest sigh and nods. Maya rubs my shoulders again, and I feel Robbie's hands gently squeeze mine. It's like they're both saying, it's okay, we're going to get through this. Your amnesia appears to be episodic as well, meaning it's affecting your memories, not general knowledge or language. I understand this is extremely confusing for you since you're missing memories and can't remember personal details, but given your brain scan, your age, and overall health, I believe your condition is temporary. How temporary? Robbie asks. It's too early to tell. It's likely the personal details will come back before the memories. I've seen cases last a few days. I've seen one last a week or a month. Have you seen cases that never get their memories back? I hold my breath and when I finish asking the question, bracing myself for his answer and wishing I hadn't asked it. Dr. Hesh nods. Unfortunately, yes. But I don't believe that will be the case for you. Don't believe? I asked shakily. Believe. He's a doctor. Shouldn't he know? Shouldn't it be a fact, not belief? Isn't what all those years in school are for? To just know things? I can't say for certain. I'm sorry, Peyton. The beeping of the machine speeds up. It's going to be okay, Dr. Hesh says. Just stay calm. I am calm. Super calm. I force an unsteady smile. The machine betrays me, beeping faster. What can we do to help, Doc? Maya stands from her seat like she's ready to take charge or take action. Are there foods she should be eating? Stuff that's good for the brain? Chai tea, salmon, Should she exercise? Meditate? I've heard laughter is the best medicine. Would it help if she attended a couple of my stand-up comedy shows? Robbie rolls his eyes. Obviously, eating well is a good thing. Avoid any strenuous exercise. Just light walks are fine when you're feeling up to it. Avoid drugs or alcohol. The best thing you can do is interact, talk about things that have happened, expose yourself to things you love, activities and foods you enjoy, people you know, places you frequent. All of that can help jog your memory and bring you back to you. I'm prescribing an anti-anxiety medication and muscle relaxant, an anticoagulant, an anticonvulsant, as well as diuretics. They will help you with any complications that could occur and will aid you faster in healing and recovery. I can feel my muscles in my face pulling in all directions. He must notice my confusion because he angles his head and gives me an encouraging look. Don't worry, Peyton. He closes his folder, returning the clipboard to the end of the bed. Your nurse will go over the medications with you in greater detail, and since all of your vitals look good, I can discharge you later today as long as you have someone staying with you for at least the next 2 weeks until your follow-up appointment. If not, I recommend that you continue recovery here. I nod along, although I'm not entirely sure what he said. I can stay with her, Maya says. I can too, Robbie adds. We can switch on and off. Maya looks to Robbie to make sure someone is with her at all times. I'll take the days, you can take the nights. Robbie agrees to the schedule. It all feels weird to me. I have to be watched 24/7 by these people. I mean, they say they are my friends, but I don't know them. Heck, I don't even know myself. I really don't want to be a burden. I can stay here. I say, a hospital's familiar. I know what it is. A place where people get better. Or die, actually. Maybe it's not the right choice. But I just feel strange, like an alien that has been dropped onto a new planet. Dr. Hesh clears his throat. I will say recovery in cases of amnesia is better at home surrounded by people you love. Do you have family nearby? I don't know that answer. How do I not know if I have family, or where they live? No, she doesn't have any family nearby, Robbie says solemnly. We're her family. Maya glances at me with a familiar nod. Okay then, just to confirm, one of you will be with her at all times? Maya and Robbie nod. Good. Are there any further questions? He tucks the folder under his arm. I have a lot of questions. Number 1, who am I? But I don't ask them. I'm sure they could tell me all my demographics, but that's not who I am. Instead, I just tell the doctor I have no questions. I'll figure it out later, I guess. All right, get some rest and take it easy, Peyton. You're in good hands. Dr. Hesh leaves the room. We sit in silence for a few beats, exchanging glances and letting it all sink in. Well, what do you think? Robbie asks. I don't know. How can I just not remember who I am? How can I have no memories of a life I've lived? Tears well up in my eyes. Maya pulls the tissue from her bag and hands it to me. I dab the wetness away. They're not gone, Peyton, she says. They're just buried somewhere in the big brain of yours. But we'll find them. What if they never come back? I feel my bottom lip tremble, so I pull it in. The two of them exchange looks, but I see them contort. They put on a brave face for me. Then we'll make new memories, Maya says. Alarm sounds. It's loud. It's coming from Robbie. He shoves his hand into his pocket and retrieves his phone, shutting it off. His brow knits together and he groans. I'm sorry I have to go into work for a meeting. It's terrible timing, but I'm presenting, so I can't miss it. He squeezes my hand. I'll be back before your discharge, Peyton. I smile. It's a small one, but I think it probably looks sadder than anything. He pulls his hand away from mine and stands, retrieving his stuff. I want to tell Robbie, please, no, stay. But I don't know him. I don't think I have the right to ask him to stay. Judging from the dark circles under his eyes, I'm pretty clear that he's been here for days, waiting for me to wake up. Okay, the words comes out just above a whisper, like it really doesn't mean it at all. Don't worry about it, Robbie, Maya says. I've got it covered. You go take care of the business stuff and whatever it is that you do for work. She waves him off. I don't even have amnesia and I don't even remember what your job is. He chuckles. I'll be back soon, he says, turning on his heel. Hey, Robbie, I call out. He glances back, yeah. What do you do for work? His smile returns. I'm an actuary, so measuring and managing the financial costs and risks of uncertainty with the use of mathematics and statistics. Maya pretends to snore and then jolts awake. That's why I never remember. Puts me right to sleep, like a lullaby. Robbie leaves the room with a laugh. The door closes behind him. It's just me and Maya, my friend. No, my best friend. Or was Robbie my best friend? I don't remember. His work seems kind of interesting, I say, looking at her. That's only because this is the first time we remember hearing about it. Wait, what about my job? Do I have one? Do I still have it? Do they know about the accident? I try to sit up a little taller in bed. Yes, you still have it. They've been keeping them updated. They're being extra supportive and flexible, so you don't have to worry about it at all. She points to the vase of flowers. Several of those are from your coworkers and boss. I nod. What do I do for work? You're a scientist. Really? I pull my chin in and think of the sciencey things. Like the periodic table, but I can't recall any of the elements except for silver and gold. Oh, and hydrogen, and potassium, and iodine. I know more than I thought I did, but it doesn't seem like I know enough to be a scientist. Are you sure? I really don't think that's my career. It doesn't feel like me. Yes, you work in subatomic particles and neutron chemicals, compound bonds, Maya says with a nod. My eyes go wide, darting back and forth between Maya and the window behind her. I don't know what any of those words mean. How can I keep doing that job if I don't understand it? My memories don't return. I'm not going to have to get a new career or go back to school because there's no way I can fake knowing any of that. Maya cracks a grin and tries to stifle a laugh, but it bursts out. I'm just kidding. You're an awful scientist. You actually failed chemistry freshman year of college. I frowned, but it doesn't last long, quickly morphing into a smile. Truly relieved that's not my job, but also deep down in my gut, I knew it wasn't. That's gotta count for something. Okay, I squint. What do I actually do? You work in social media, she says through a snort. That sounds more like me, or at least I think it does. Maya pats my shoulder. I had you going. Yeah, it's pretty easy to fool a person with traumatic brain injury, Maya. I put an emphasis on her name. Now, I'm even more confused, I pout. Her face turns serious and her laughter extinguishes. She leans in. I'm sorry, Peyton. I shouldn't do that to you. You know how I am. Well, I guess actually you don't. But I use humor to cope with anything and everything. I'm really sorry. She sighs heavily. I stare back at her, holding my frown. But eventually it wavers. The corners of my mouth curve up. I had you going too. She rocks back in her chair, chuckling. I should have known, even without your memory, you still have your snark and wit. I don't remember Maya, but I feel like she's and I have one of those friendships where even if we don't see each other for a long time, we could pick up like we were never apart. Makes both of us sad and happy. Sad that I can't remember, but happy that even though I don't have my memories of Maya, I can still feel that way of that connection with her. She jolts forward in her chair, just like the thought of something important. So, I know you don't remember this, but I was on the phone with you when you were hit by the car, and you were telling me. Double knock that interrupts Maya, and a woman dressed in a casual professional clothes calls out, "Knock, knock." As she walks in, is this another person I'm supposed to know? Her hair is pulled into a low ponytail, and her makeup is a bit heavy for a hospital setting. Dark pink lipstick, false lashes, and fully contoured face. She's not wearing scrubs, but I noticed the name tag. Okay, she works here. I let out a sigh of relief that it isn't someone else I'm supposed to know. But don't. I have some visitors for you, Miss Sanders. But you're only allowed 2 at a time. The woman snaps her fingers, and 3 very nice-looking men file in, standing shoulder to shoulder before me in line. Not just nice-looking. Hot. I stop myself from having any more thoughts about them, just in case we were related or something. I avert my eyes to look at Maya, trying to gauge if she recognizes them. Her mouth hangs open, and her gaze skims over them. She's clearly not just as surprised as I am. They're all claiming to be your boyfriend, the woman says with a smirk. One holds a balloon that says get well soon. He's tall, dark, and handsome. The man lifts his hand. Another carries a stuffed teddy bear and a box of chocolates. And his sleeve tattoo is clean, square jawline. He's just as handsome as the other one. The man nods and delivers a sympathetic look. The last one is neatly trimmed facial hair and broad shoulders, his large hands clutched the vase full of roses, and his lips were a straight line, like he's unsure of how to greet me. The woman scans over them, as though she's appraising a piece of artwork. She clears her throat and directs her attention to me. So which one is your boyfriend? I inhale deeply and shake my head. I don't know, I say.